gentlemen, welcome to NJPW Pro Wrestling Review. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over here, the Taco Princess, or the Burrito Princess, or the Quesadilla Princess, whatever you want to call her. It's Melba. How you doing, Melba?
I am doing great, Andre. We are getting post-workout Malball today because it was a late start for her. She just wasn't feeling it in the morning. Now we're feeling the thunderstorms in the evening. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very tired, but I am doing great.
Phenomenal. Words are great.
We're going to do this show, and then I'm going to render, and I'm going to go to bed.
A much-deserved nappy nap, my friend.
I hope so, because I didn't sleep well last night. But I had a dog beside me last night sleeping, so I had a little pug with me, so it was nice.
Oh, so the snoring was probably what woke you up.
No, and that my back wasn't feeling that great, so it was hard to get comfortable for myself because I was sleeping in a bed I wasn't used to. It was dog sitting a dog, so I was sleeping in a bed I wasn't used to. So my back just was like, it doesn't like this.
That's fair. That's fair.
So we are going to get into this. We're talking some NJPW Puroresu review, but before we do that, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Please, thank you. I want to thank all of you for liking all the videos, subscribing to the channel, helping us grow like we have. Comment down below so we can hear from you and talk and just shoot the shit about professional wrestling. And we also want to please ask you, hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello. We are going to get into this. It's G1. We're talking nights number 8 and 9. We're going to kick it off with night number 8.
What a cool picture of Hanare.
Yeah, they finally updated his graphic, and it's dope as fuck. Like, yeah. I'm coming around on the face tats. As I see it more, at first it kind of shocked me. I was like, what the hell? What's going on? Mm-hmm. But as they talk more about his facial tattoos and things like that, I think I'm coming more around to it. Again, I understood from the beginning it was very much a tribal thing. It was his culture. But, yeah.
I quite like it. It's a very unique style. I've never seen the one that kind of goes up into the ear kind of sideburn area. I think it looks really like it's pretty hot. Not gonna lie.
It's like a beard. It's like a beard, but a beard that goes over his nose.
Yeah, that's like fancy, perpetually fancy.
Yeah. So we said it's Evil versus Dick with Dick. I'm gonna say Evil versus Dick Togo. That'd be a great match. Evil with Dick Togo versus Aaron Hanare. The creep Togo, because he didn't come out with Evil, so that creep Togo attacks Hanare with a chair during his entrance, and Evil fucks with the ref. Evil gets a couple 2 counts right off the top. Hanare, if you notice, has tape on his neck, probably from being dropped by Mikey Nichols.
On his head, yeah.
Evil runs Hanare into the barricade, taking out Abe, chokes him with the cable. Evil takes Hanare into the stands, tries to slam his face into the sign on the wall, but Hanare slams his face into the sign on the wall. They get back in the ring. They fight back down to the ring. Hanare beating him up all the way. Gets the PK to the back and the senton for 2. Gets a berserker bomb. Evil rolls it out, and Togo distracts Hanare. And the Evil comes in, hits him from behind, and sends him into the barricade. Evil takes Hanare up. That happened all on the landing. Evil takes Hanare up to the landing. Evil distracting the ref. Togo uses the garrote, but he fights it off and hits the meeting of the minds, smashing their heads together. It's the one time in this tournament I'm down for the head-on-head headbutt, and then a double lariat. Ultima is applied in the back of the ring, but Evil breaks it and tosses him into the exposed corner. But Hanare comes right back out hitting this vicious kick. Rampage is missed, and Hanare is sent head first into the corner, a normal corner, and gets Fisherman suplex for 2. Darkness Falls only gets 2. Hanare stops everything Evil and hits a wheel kick. Then the high knee in the corner, followed by Rampage. But Evil stops Streets of Rage. But Hanare gets this sick ass headbutt. I'm generally okay with him headbutting Evil because Evil ends up stopping Streets of Rage, but the ref gets distracted. So Hanare punches so they get a chair, but Hanare punches a chair like literally punches the seat out of the chair in Togo's hands.
How cool was that?
Then Togo tosses the chair to Hinari and runs away, like the little bitch that he is. And the ref sees Hinari holding the seatless chair. So I don't know what it's really going to do to Evil at this point. And the ref takes it away and is looking away. So Evil gets the low blow. It's everything is Evil, and god damn it, Evil gets is at what 6 points. Evil is at 6 points.
I know. And like, didn't I pick him for the thing?
Yeah. So Evil's doing good for you.
That doesn't mean I have to be happy about it though, because big dick, little bitch. Ugh. I just. I will say this though. This was the best match that I've seen Evil have in a little while. Even though it was pretty intolerable for the amount of shenanigans that were happening. I felt that Hinari actually did really, really well in controlling the match and like bringing it into the ring and actually being able to pop off all of his really good shit on Evil before taking that loss. I felt that Hinari still comes out of this looking like a beast. And for me, that's a win because usually when you go into an Evil match, you don't lose looking like a beast. You usually lose with a lot of other shenanigans that had happened to make you lose. And even though there were shenanigans that made him lose, it wasn't over the top like usual.
Yeah, and this was a 12-minute goddamn Evil match. Yeah, scenario in this match was great for what he did. But goddamn, I had to watch Evil for 12 goddamn minutes. So we move on. We're going to move on. Next match evening. Angry Alex is back tossing stairs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeet. King Yeet.
Yeah. Alex attacks from behind. They go to the floor. Goto gets run into the barricade.
Did you hear the joke, sorry, before we move on from the stairs? Kevin, on commentary, the dad jokes. He made a dad joke about Alex Coughlin throwing the stairs. And, stairs, get it? Staring, bulgy eyes. I was like, oh, Kevin. It soared right over Chris Charlton's head, too.
So Chris didn't even chuckle. Okay, that's good. At least Chris didn't even.
He missed it completely.
If Chris would have chuckled, I would have been disappointed.
Yeah, no, missed it completely.
That's good. They end up on the floor. Alex is distracting the ref, or he gets the refs distracted, and he gets Goto with a chair. Does it really matter on the floor, though? They never did cue anybody on the floor. Literally, Great O'Con has been hitting people with hit Ospreay with a chair on night 7 on the outside in front of the ref, and the ref didn't do shit.
There's just so much shenanigans happening on the outside that should be called.
And it was the same ref, so he doesn't call chair shots outside the ring. So
yeah, it's his name is Kenta something.
Kenta Sato?
No, not Kenta Sato. It's another one named Kenta something. The one with the emo hair.
I know, he's the young guy.
Yeah.
The young ref. We'll get back to the match. So Alex really working the ribs. If you want to find out what his name is, you're more than welcome to, Mel.
I will find out.
Alex really working over the ribs because, again, like we talked about it on the previous night talking about Goto, his ribs got injured. So Alex Coughlин's really taking advantage of that, running him into the apron on the floor, stomping the ribs, seated abdominal stretch, which just turned into a pin again, or the ground cobra pin by Alex Coughlin. But Goto gets a foot on the rope, or gets a ground cobra, but submission. But Goto gets a foot on the ropes. Hard strikes from Alex Coughlin. This guy is a beast of a hitter. Goto fights back, hits the wheel kick in the corner, backdrop driver, but can't get the pin right away, so he only gets the 2 count. Coughlin hits this, cracks him in the face with almost like a shote, and just drops Goto. That was sick. In the end, though, Coughlin rakes the eyes on the GTR attempt, hits the knee to the gut. he then follows up with the jackhammer. Now it's Coughlin. It's on the board, ladies and gentlemen.
Finally.
Finally.
Took a little too long.
He's finally paying off for Mel.
It's not even that. He's one half of the NJPW Strong Tag Team Champions. I expected him to have a few more wins like his partner.
I didn't.
Yeah. The fact that he gets his first win against Goto doesn't surprise me, though, given, the history with these guys. And also given Goto's not at 100% right now. And this is a big concern to me. Coughlin, I felt, was just overwhelmingly dominant in this match. And I felt that Goto, again, as a result of his injured ribs, really took quite the beating from Coughlin as a result. My personal concern is Goto's ribs. We've seen how that worked out for Tai Chi, and he ended up having to take a little time off to really heal up those ribs and stuff. Goto's an IWGP Tag Team Champion. If I'm Goto, I'm making a decision. Do I keep going with this tournament and risk those ribs being a massive target and potentially having to drop the title? Or do I call the tournament and step out and try to heal up until the IWGP Tag Championship match?
It's very true. There's a lot of factors. You really got to look at his injury, but Goto's the kind of guy who I don't think is going to back out of the tournament.
Oh yeah, he's too stubborn and proud.
It's that samurai heritage.
It is. It's a good thing to have, but my golly, Miss Molly, I'm very concerned because the ribs are no joke. I mean, that's how you breathe. You can't breathe, you can't live.
Very true. So we move on. Shingo Takagi versus Mikey Nichols with Kosei Fujita. Each man trying to get the power advantage early. Nichols slams Shingo into the barricade on the floor and slams him onto the apron. Delayed suplex by Takagi back in the ring delayed suplex by Nichols to Takagi back in the ring and gets it to and applies a submission and is pulling at the nose of Takagi. It was actually quite funny. Takagi gets back up, starts striking. Nail strikes are on point. That guy, goddamn, this guy's this guy's really good at everything, but his strikes I think are his strongest part of his game, and he's great at everything. Lariat in the corner and the sliding D by Takagi. DDT and Lariat's in the DDT and a Lariat's in the corner by Nichols, and Nichols puts him up on top and hits a superplex where Takagi literally bounces.
Yes, he got some height on that bounce. Holy hell!
That one looked like fucking hell.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say that. They both are on their four, start headbutting each other. Then they start trading strikes and more headbutts. Nichols hits a Death Valley driver and then hits his seated lariat for 2. They trade lariats and strikes and more headbutts. And Takagi just runs at Nichols, smashes into him, and just fall. And they fall. And he lands on top of Nichols. And Takagi gets a pin.
It was a weird ending. And here's my thoughts on it. The doggy is what I was calling them, the doggy style headbutts. Because how do you even try to make that look graceful? It just looked awkward as hell. Just in there. It looked dumb. And at that point, that was when Mikey Nichols got opened up again. And started bleeding a bit from the cut from Hanare. 4-6 nights ago.
That was on night 2.
Right. Come on. Anyway, after that, I don't know, maybe I was just reading it wrong, but I felt like the vibe of the match completely changed after that. And the match didn't go on much longer after this. It winded down, I think, in a couple minutes or so. I felt the rest of the match actually very, very solid. But after that, again, the doggy style headbutts, it just seemed like a bit of a downward spiral. And then the match kind of ending like that. My concern was maybe did the headbutts and then the subsequent just collision potentially knock Nichols out, and he couldn't respond.
I really don't know. It was very confusing.
Yeah, because when he landed, he went limp after that. So I was like, oh, maybe he's out.
That's why I was like, it was a very
awkward collision too.
Yeah, like he just went body in. They just went smush into each other.
Yeah, I thought it was a sloppy shoulder block.
I thought it was a sloppy Thez press is what I was thinking. Because he lands on top of it and thinking, did you not jump at all for your Thez press, you weirdo? But, yeah.
Yeah, very, very odd ending there. Hope they're both okay, but my goodness, it was a weird end.
Very weird end. Weird end Yankovic, you know. We move on to Toru Yano versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. They do their their squad in the center, and it's for Bebop High School is the anime where they got it from.
Poor Tana, really having to work for that squat too.
Yeah, because like Yano just goes in squats like, come on, you know his knees are bad, dude. Don't make him goddamn squat, you fucking a-hole.
Yeah, he struggled.
And so Yano gets that squat. So Yano gets a roll up after the squats. Yano ends up like throwing away his tape. Like that surprised me. The ref just checks to make sure it's all gone. Yano really working hard with the wrestling and strikes in this match. Like he got really like wrestly in this match.
Mm-hmm.
The scoop slam and flip senton gets missed, and Yano pulls Tana to the floor. Yano runs him into the barricade. This is where we get back to regular Yano. Yano makes more tape appear, but Tana then takes it from him or knocks it out of his hand. Then Tana picks it up and gives it to a kid. Great souvenir. Straight out to Toru Yano's tights. Great souvenir straight out of Toru Yano's tights, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reaction I was hoping for. Dragon Screw corner pad whip by Toru Yano.
Yeah.
Tana goes flying with it. Yano runs him into the corner, then the slingshot into the exposed corner. But Tana fights off the power bomb, gets the dragon screw to the arm, and then the leg.
Mm-hmm.
Spear from behind from Toru Yano sends Tanahashi into the ref. So Yano goes and gets a chair, but Tana punches it into his face.
Yeah. Glorious.
Glorious punches. Glorious punches. Tana hits a sling blade and hits the high fly flow. He gets the win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I didn't take a whole ton of notes on this one. I just laughed.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Yano comedy match for me, but Tanahashi definitely did it up a little bit. The wrestling that Yano did do is always impressive to me, though. When he does pull out that amateur kind of style, it's always nice to see. I would like to see him and Okan have another feud again, just so we can see that style go against each other again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I did also enjoy. The only thing that I also did write down was the dragon screw arm whip, because that's just fun.
Oh, the corner pad whip?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so much fun.
So fun. But yeah, this was a funny one.
Yeah, it was. The next match wasn't so funny. It was Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie freaking Kingston. This is two guys literally kicking the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go through a lot of moves in this match because there wasn't a lot of moves.
No, they just hit each other.
But off the top, they did a test of strength. And I haven't seen a test of strength in a high-profile wrestling match in a long time, and I love that they busted it out. They're in a great spot. The Falcon Arrow, but he drops him on his face spot, like Thickness does here in Alberta, by Eddie Kingston. Then he just kind of like hop stomps him. Like, just like a bunny hop stomp onto TV.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
My
good.
guy.
And this is where they get into just cracking each other, just beating the shit out of each other.
Uh-huh.
Ishii kicking at the injured back of Eddie when he's down because he got his back beat up by the Blackpool Combat Club before coming over here. So he did have that pre-existing injury coming into this tournament. Long ass chop battles. Eddie gets a half and half and the sliding elbow for 2. Ishii gets the Germans, but Eddie gets up and hits German. Then Ishii gets up, hits German. Eddie pops up, but then he off the German, and then just Ric Flair bumps onto his face. Dragon Sleeper by Eddie, and Ishii looks like he's fading. So Eddie transitions to a pin for 2, and I'm like, why didn't you just hold the Dragon Sleeper longer, you freaking idiot? He was fading. If you kept it on, he would have faded out. Jesus. Both men are just throwing everything at each other. Back fist, punches, chops, everything you could imagine. Ishii's throwing headbutts to the chest, the safe way to throw a headbutt. And dropping Eddie with a headbutt. They're just cracking the shit at each other. Ishii ends up stopping a Northern Lights bomb with a code breaker. It looked like his version of a code breaker because he didn't get the same kind of tuck that Jericho gets on a code breaker. Then he hits the vertical drop brainbuster, and Tomohiro Ishii is on the board, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, but dang time. Gosh, dang dang.
Yes, gosh, dang time.
I didn't take a ton of notes on this one. I just said the chops are ridiculous. These guys were just going for broke on those things. Eddie Kingston has been impressing us on this tour, and this is, I think, the first show that you haven't said about an Eddie Kingston match that this is the best you've ever seen him.
Well, so, no, it is one of the better Eddie Kingston matches. It's just the last one was that fucking good though.
So, but what I'm saying is you want to hear about that progress. Progress is great because that means they're getting better, they're getting more entertaining, they're winning you over, they're winning me over.
Yeah.
But yeah, specifically with Eddie here, relentless Ishii was on his back with those kicks. Just so nasty about it. And Eddie played it up that noise he was making when he was getting kicked. I've never heard somebody yell that much in pain in NJPW. They're usually they'll cry out a little bit, but they don't really make it apparent. Whereas Eddie is as much a showman as he is becoming an athlete, right?
Oh, that. So, there's small things about Eddie Kingston. I do the way he sells and his his facial expressions. Don't say the other word. His facial expressions and how he sells that pain and things. He is absolutely tremendous. And again, he's winning me over as a wrestler.
100%. So does this mean that Ishii can now challenge for the Strong Championship?
I'm going to say yes. 100% yes.
Give me more.
Even Kevin made a comment to it. Is say Ishii's now got the right to challenge for that title or something to that.
I mean, he already has the exposure in North America. Why the hell not?
Imagine a show that has Ishii versus Eddie Kingston on the top with Julia and somebody semi-main eventing, or even flip it around and have Julia main event. And you have Coughlin and Gabe Kidd defending tag titles against let's say TMDK or somebody. Just imagine the amount of awesome a Strong show could potentially be right now.
What about Julia versus Athena?
Right there, Athena, or any of the wonderful women that you have in North America. Billy Starks, who we saw face Utami Hayashishida.
Ruby Soho.
Yeah, there's so many women out there that but just imagine what the Strong division could be with what we're seeing here. The Strong division could be something goddamn epic.
Absolutely.
Even Coughlin, in all his losses, has looked insanely strong and insanely impressive. So I look forward to what they do with the Strong brand coming out of this. Your women's division and your men's division and your tag division all have something awesome you can potentially do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we move on to Tetsuya Naito versus Shane Haste, baby.
This match was amazing.
Oh my god. These two played off each other so gosh darn well. Like,
so good.
Haste really got to show off how good of a professional wrestler he is while showing off how good of a comedy talent while also being just both these two just insanely good. And like, I know Shane Haste is funny because his wife works for Smosh on the YouTube channel Smosh, and he's been in a few videos, and he's insanely hilarious when he's appeared on Smosh videos. So I know this guy has that potential. And you remember the Zack Sabre Jr. promo where he was impersonating Sabre? This guy has got so much goddamn charisma that he's finally getting to show it. It's weird that he's finally getting to show it in a Japanese promotion and not when he was in NXT or WWE or on the main roster. Like, this guy is charming as fuck, and Naito, I think, is the perfect person to play off him for it. He has a charm, but he also has that deadpan. He's like that deadpan charm.
He does. He really does. You can see him like smirking a little bit under there every once in a while, but he absolutely is a deadpan deliverer for sure.
And Naito, so they play off for the hats at the beginning, and Naito's trying to trade him the hat. But so he gets the top hat, but doesn't give him the baseball cap, and puts the hat on, doing some shit, and then throws the hat into the crowd. I am so disappointed that we're not getting to see Haste. I hope Haste has like 4 more of those hats.
I'm fairly certain he got it back.
Oh, I really hope so, because the Japanese crowds are pretty respectful in that way. American crowd, he never would have got that back. 100%.
Oh no, it would have been ripped off of him at ringside.
Canadian crowd, possibly. That's a possibly. We're pretty nice, but merch is you don't want to give it up.
Merch is merch, yes.
So he ended up tossing out. Naito immediately tosses Haste out and does the pose. So Haste gets back in, fights off Naito, gets the hat from Naito, and wears it, and drops down to his knee and does the Naito pose. I was yes, I love it. Then they got into the wrestling. Neck breakers.
Didn't Kevin Kelly say that putting the hat on made Shane Haste look more Australian than he already did?
Yes, it did. Neckbreaker. Naito neckbreakers Haste onto a barricade after neck breaking her off the ropes. Drives the neck into the barricade. It would look pretty brutal. Naito working the cravat in this match. I really like when you guys use cravats. Again, it's not a move you see a lot of guys use or use well, but Naito uses it well. Really torquing the neck. And beautiful standing drop kick by Haste once he gets out of the cravat. The guy's got a Okada rivaling drop kick. It's pretty good. Inverted suplex and the Falcon Arrow for 2 by Haste. And then kicks him in the neck while he's down. Elbow, and then Naito hits the elbow or kicks him in the pace in the neck. Naito working the elbows to the neck, and the hits Esperanza. That flip cutter thing he does, or flip stunner. I don't know what it is. I know it's a stunner or cutter. Big uppercut by Haste, and hits the Saito suplex, which is that backdrop driver. And both men are down. Haste starts slapping the shit out of Naito. But Naito comes back with a tornado DDT, but Haste hits a swinging backdrop and gets a 2 count. Destino off the shoulders. But as Naito goes for the full Destino, Haste hits this huge lariat, almost taking Naito's head off. Elbows by Naito, and Destino. No. Haste kicks out. Naito goes for it again, but Haste gets him on his shoulders, spins him off into a Uranagi, and Shane Haste pins Tetsuya Naito. 2 points for me.
This was a surprise for me, a pleasant surprise. But this was like one of the endings that I popped. I was like, no freaking way. It gave it to him. I love it. And I didn't like the spitting. With Naito spitting on Shane Haste. That was yucky.
Yeah. kind of omitted it because I just didn't like it. And I'm like, I just don't need to talk about somebody spitting on somebody else.
Yeah, it's also just not necessary. You can get your point across with your disdain without spitting. Figure it out.
I know we talked about spitting on another match on here recently, but like this one, it just was like not needed at all.
No,
For the
it
tone
was a
of the
bit
match,
disrespectful.
like I know the other one we were in, it was really big, like people like really disrespecting each other in the match. Where this
Mhm.
one, it wasn't that type of match that required someone spitting on the other.
Yeah, because like it was an intense match, but it was like intense in a fun way. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't an intense in a sense of urgency way. It was kind of like it was almost like a not quite so comical Yano match,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, had some fun in there, but they got some really good work in.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, I thought really great match, and Shane Heath got me 2 points in their tournament, which I am now
Yeah.
behind by like 5 points. And Sully after today, and Sully caught up. That fucking son of a bitch. Goddamn
You'll
Sully.
get there eventually, sir.
We move on to the semi-main event of night number 8. It's Tamatanga versus David Finlay with Gato. Tama attacks Finlay during his entrance. They fight in the crowd. Tama beating the hell out of Finlay.
Mhm.
Finlay fights back when Tama tries to suplex off that elevated area, pushes him off, and then attacks the knee with the chair. Finlay working over the knee, gets a Boston Crab. Stinger splash and the power slam by Tama for 2. Beautiful Irish curse backbreaker. Like, Sheamus is the one that really established that move, but I think David Finlay, just the crispness of how he does that Irish curse backbreaker.
Oh, so good, yeah.
Like, it's just, he lifts guys so high and hits it in such a way, it just looks like it kills.
Mhm.
So Tama fights back, gets an Enziguri, the SRC, and the Supreme Flow, but Finlay gets the knees up on the Supreme Flow. I'm going to skip that one because I don't know what I wrote there. Finn tries I'm going to go to the next one. Finn tries a power bomb, but gets backdropped over the top rope, and Tama hits the plancha to the floor. He gets the Supreme Flow back in the ring for 2, and then gets there's like a series of move reversals from both of them where they're just each like have like finding a way out of each other's moves. And Finlay hits the Blue Thunder Bomb for 2, and then gets the Dominator. And this is where Kevin Kelly's like, "Oh my god, it's over!" Like he's convinced he's pulling a Vince McMahon, 90 fucking 3, saying it's over, it's over. Oh no, it's not over. It was very.
Yeah, you did that a lot in this match, actually.
Yeah, especially for Finlay. Like a lot of Finlay stuff, he really did that for.
Yeah.
A huge spear by Finlay, but Tama ends up rolling him up on the powerbomb attempt. And Tama gets the win. So Tama gets 2. And then after the match, Finlay attacks him, hits a powerbomb, then smacks him with the shillelagh.
I mean, that seems to be what Bullet Club does now.
Mm-hmm.
Their shenanigans. Did they officially kick out House of Torture?
Not officially, I don't think. Because he was comparing that the shenanigans from Finlay and his crew weren't as bad as the other, while they are, and Kevin said, while they are Bullet Club associated, the shenanigans are worse with House of Torture.
Right.
Yeah.
They really need to separate those guys. They're not even doing the 2 sweets anymore. They're doing that cigarette thing. It's just yucky. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Well, you might want. Maybe they still need their dues. I don't know. Maybe they got to pay. They're still paying. Paying their
stop
membership
fighting random stuff on the corner of the street. You'll stop getting fined. You'll have more money.
That was a great video.
So yeah, Tama, I forget sometimes how freaking quick he is. Just the speed, agility that he has. There was one point where he was like on the ground and suddenly he was up. It was just insane how quick he was. He was almost quicker than Finlay, and Finlay is pretty quick. Yeah. I was very, very pleased with this match. It was another shocker to me, but I was very pleased with it.
Oh, yeah. It was absolutely a banger. I thought you really killed it. But what I killed it in my match of the night was right here. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jeff Cobb. TMDK versus United Empire. I was in heaven. Goddamn, is Jeff Cobb just insanely entertaining throughout in this tournament.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
I love the technical chain wrestling these two were doing at the start. Because again, Cobb is an Olympic level wrestler, like an Olympic wrestler. And Saber's his whole gimmick is mat based wrestling. I love these two just chaining and flowing between everything they were doing at the start.
Mhm.
Saber hurting his own shoulder trying to show to block Cobb was great.
So hilarious. I
And he's
loved
literally
that spot.
and he's grabbing at his shoulder, then he does it again. He grabs at his shoulder, then he does it again. It's like, dude, you're just hurting yourself. You're like half this man's size.
I mean, he might have some height on him, but absolutely, like he does
Oh,
not stretch upward. Like Jeff is also thick.
yeah. So I'm saying, like, he is like twice the bulk of you, dude. Like, Jesus
100%
Christ.
minimum.
So they're on the floor, headbutt by Cobb. Cobb whips Saber into that barricade twice, but Saber gets
Mhm.
the flying guillotine, but Cobb just yeets him over his head.
He does. He just yeeted him. It was crazy.
Hard whip into the back in the ring, hard whip to the corner, and Saber bounces off and he's flopping around. Great selling. Like it's just so good. Headbutts to the sternum by Cobb. Again, that's how you headbutt to the chest. And you wreck the chest by doing it too.
Mhm.
Jumping tornado TDT out of the corner by Saber. Saber turns spin cycle into the rear naked choke, but Cobb falls back. But Saber just reapplies the
Mhm.
transition to the armbar, but Cobb does get to the ropes.
Mhm.
Saber pulls a triangle, but Cobb lifts him up and turns it into a suplex, which is quite impressive.
Mhm.
Spin cycles hit by Cobb, but Saber turns the Tour of the Islands into the Crucifix for 2, then into a bow and arrow stretch with the leg like wrapped around the head and neck.
Mhm.
As Kevin Kelly called it, the Hawaiian clutch attempted, but the Gato clutch, the Hawaiian clutch. I really like. I like the way Kevin's playing that with the move and not giving Gato any credit anymore. Hawaiian clutch, but Saber turns it into a rear naked choke. But Cobb rolls through rolls back over, gets a 2 count.
Mhm.
Uh, Moonsault is missed. Saber gets the neck crank and the Euro clutch for 2. Saber then kicks him and hits a deadlift German to Cobb, which was mighty, mighty, mighty impressive for a guy
Yeah.
like Saber to do that. I'm like, God damn, and it was deadlift. Like he was like just lift them and just drove them back. Like there was no jump.
Mhm.
Like yeah, it was crazy. And Saber hits the PK, but Cobb hits the Jeff 5. And that is straight from Will
Yep,
Ospreay,
I
from Kevin
remember
Kelly,
that.
who got it from Will Ospreay. He said it on the next night, and he's like, "I got that from Ospreay." So I'm like, "It's straight up from Ospreay." He hits the Jeff 5, so it's like an F5, but Saber just goes like crazy flying. It was
Oh
awesome.
yeah. It's like
And then
you were flipping, like making a pizza dough, and you just lost the pizza dough, and it goes flying over your head.
yeah, and then he gets Tour of the Islands, and Jeff
Yes.
Cobb is number 1 in the block, baby, undefeated, 4 wins, 0 losses, leaving
And
Saber with
finally getting that long sought after win against Zack Sabre Jr. It's just unfortunate it's in the G1 and not for the TV title. However, now he can challenge him for it again.
But even Kevin said that they went past 15 minutes, and we made the comment of Saber would have retained his title if this was a TV title match.
That
So,
is true.
so it did take Cobb longer than a TV title match to win this. So
That's true.
yeah,
That is true. This was another holy shit moment for me. I was very
mm-hmm.
excited that Jeff Cobb won this.
Mm-hmm. I was a little disappointed because I didn't get 2 points, but I just loved this match overall. I thought these two just tore it down, man.
Oh
Like they were
yeah, the reversals were insane. They power flexed on each other 100% because like Zack Sabre Jr. pulling off that German was just nuts.
Mm-hmm. Again,
Well,
I love this. Again, this was my match of the night personally.
mhm. I don't know if I had a match of the night on this one. I felt that this show was actually pretty solid.
I know by the Observer, the highest ranked match is the Eddie Kingston match from the Wrestling Observer
That wouldn't
newsletter.
surprise me.
But this at 4.5 stars, this was rated at 4.25 stars. So again, both absolutely tremendous matches. But for me personally, this was it because it's two of my favorites going at it. So
That's fair.
yeah, so we're gonna give a quick rundown of the blocks. In the C block, I'm gonna make it a little bigger for you guys. You have David Finlay and Evil and Tamatanga, all with 6 points. You have Eddie Kingston, Shingo Takagi with 4, Mikey Nichols, Aaron Hanare, and Tomohiro Ishii each with 2. Like, legitimately, those top 5 of the 6 and the 4 pointers, any of those people still have a valid shot at getting into the finals. They still have 3 nights to go. So, yeah. And then we move on to Block D. You have Jeff Cobb on top, all alone, 8 points. Zack Sabre Jr. second with a 6. Then you have Goto, Naito, Tanahashi, and Haste all with 4 points. Again, they have the ability to make the play. I don't think they're going to knock Jeff Cobb out, but they have the play to get into that. All gets to the play to get into that second place. I really think there's I don't know. I really want Sabre to be that second place for gosh darn sure, but you just don't know. Then you got Alex Cogan finally picking up a win with 2 points, and Toriano, Boris's ace in the hole to get at least a couple points in this tournament, still with a big old goose egg.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was going to happen, but
well, look at last year. Yano got wins over some of the beasts. Like he had like 2 or 3 wins over beasts. And this year he's gone 0 for 4. So I can see why. And in other years, he's picked up critical wins to really screw
because wasn't
over.
he Bronson's or Jonah's only loss in the G1 last year?
Yeah, because Jonah beat Okada, but he lost to Toriano.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was these weird, interesting little spots, and it was just like it just surprises me that Yano hasn't got a win yet. You think he's going to mess it up for probably Sabre? That makes me very unhappy. Or did he already face Sabre? I don't think so.
I don't.
Wait, Sabre. No, he already faced Sabre. Never mind. He's gonna mess it up for. Let's say Yano's gonna mess it up for. He could mess it up for Jeff Cobb. He really could. Like he's still got Cobb. That could be. That's gonna be an interesting. It's gonna be an interesting match, but I'm just saying he could. Again, he's a spoiler. He plays spoiler, man.
Sounds like the thunderstorm is picking up outside.
Yeah, gross. We move on. Night number 9. I should really bring those notes up. Save that. Night number 9. We kick it off with Chase Owens, Shota Umino. Chase attacks to that wrecking ball drop kick, but misses, and Umino attacks him, but Chase misses the chop and hits the post. Chase ends up trying to climb under the ring, but can't, and Umino, so he comes back out and he's like begging him up. Then he whips Umino into the barricade, and backdrops him on the floor. Owens is really beating up Umino, even back then. Koji is here.
Yes, he got scared of the thunder.
Aw, baby needs his mommy. Like he's really beating up Umino, choking him on the ropes, just really laying into him. Mel while getting distracted. After a pin attempt, Chase Owens says to the ref, "Slow count. I hate you." I love the line. It was great. He hits a PK to a seated Umino. Drop kick by Umino, and he gets a reverse Bloody Sunday, but misses the ignition. Doesn't have the keys to ignition. Fresh out the kitchen. He wasn't fresh out the kitchen there. But he hits the very European uppercut, but again misses the ignition. And Chase gets the German suplex. Strike exchange, and then Chase hits Jewel Heist and the Sea Trigger, but can't get the package pile driver. Chase gets a strike, then the Sea Trigger. He goes for the package pile driver, but Shota reverses, hits the Death Rider, and gets the win.
And then afterwards, as he was running by commentary, did you hear? He was like, "I love you."
To Kevin. Yeah. But maybe Kevin thought he was saying it to him, and he was actually saying it to Chris Charlton. You never know.
Or like the rest of the world. Who knows? And who knows what goes through Shota Umino's head. Yeah, I felt that Chase actually worked super smart against Shota, having a lot of answers for the moves that Shota was trying to pull off for a lot of the beginning there. When Chase went for the second attempt at his package pile drive, I actually thought that he kind of had it in the bag there. So I was pretty surprised when Shota was able to reverse it and pick up the win for this one.
Yeah.
I felt that this was a really solid opener.
Yeah, I really thought in 9 minutes 35 seconds, not too long, good solid match. You had the little stuff before the match. It worked. I think it worked very well. So we move on to my written notes for the next 3 matches because I watched these at work today. And actually, when I watched this show, I watched the main event first at like 5:30 this morning. Then I watched this one. Then I went to work, watched 3 matches at work on my lunch break. Then I watched those other 3 matches. So the main event was my first match on the show because I woke up and went, I need to see Okada versus Ospreay.
Fair.
And it didn't disappoint. I'll tell you that right
now.
Strike versus. So we get. Oh, I started going to my notes for switching. It's YOSHI-HASHI versus Taichi.
Yes.
Taichi. Strike versus Boots at the beginning. They get into the chop battle. Kevin says specifically to the fans there not to chop at home.
No.
Yeah.
Please don't. No tenderizing titties in the privacy of your own home, you guys. It's not safe.
I do it at indie events by hitting other fans.
Yeah. I mean, I can't relate. Don't want to chop people. It's not fun.
It's fun. Yoshi hangs Taichi on the ropes, hits that drop kick, followed by a neck break for 2. Toshi gets I said Toshi, didn't I?
You did.
Yoshi gets the headhunter on Taichi for 2. Yoshi misses a splash in the corner, and Taichi hits the enziguri and removes the pants.
Yes.
I know it's Mel's favorite part of a Taichi match.
I mean, that's when we get the Taichi that we need.
Yeah. Axe bomber, but Yoshi turns the Black Mephisto into the Japanese Destroyer. And it hits a lariat for 2. And he hits the Kubagoroshi and gets a 2. The Karma is reversed into the Taichi clutch for 2. Then Taichi hits the Gamengiri. Trying to be expressive, I guess.
Love it.
Hard slap by Yoshi, and he hits a backstabber, but gets reversed on the crucifix bomb into the Black Mephisto. But Taichi can't follow up with a pin, so he gets up, hits the super kick, and he hits the Black Mephisto for the win. Taichi gaining 2 more points.
G1 YOSHI-HASHI, I'm telling you, my guy. He stepped up in this one. This was a great match. I really, really liked this. I felt Taichi was actually getting beat up for like the first half of this match until he pantsed. And then it was like after he pantsed, he came back with a vengeance for that win. I really enjoyed this match, which is awesome because there was like a long period of time I did not enjoy YOSHI-HASHI matches. And I'm still very hesitant when I see YOSHI-HASHI mentioned in something, but like, gosh dang, the guy's working so hard. Gotta give him his credit.
Very much so. So we move, again, it's G1 Taichi or YOSHI-HASHI, but he has been able to really take that. Again, the tag run has been a little lackluster. Don't get me wrong. I think it's just time for that team to kind of break up, in my personal opinion, and let them go do other things and just create some new tag teams. But yeah. So we move on to the brawl fest of killing each other. Kaito Kiyomiya versus Gabe Kidd. Kid attacks during the entrance as usual. They're trading shots into the crowd. Kid chops Kaito in a chair, or he chops him while seated in a chair, and then runs at him, going for the somersault, for the somersault tope, but he ends up hitting, like getting launched and like into the chairs. Looked really good. Kid uses the chair on the floor. He tosses him into they're just beating the shit out of each other on the floor. Simple as that. Kid ends up biting Kaito's forehead, just kind of gross, like back in the ring. Like, come on, dude. Like, just gross. Kaito fights back again, but gets Saito suplex. Gets the Saito suplex, but Kid stops Kid hits the Saito suplex, but he pulls him up on his own pin. Like, are you stupid? Like, yeah. And then
he might have definitely been having a bit of a blonde moment there.
So he puts Kaito on the top rope and just like dumps him to a floor. But he's waiting for a count out win, but Kaito comes in and hits a lariat. So okay, there was a good match in the ring. But then they fight to the outside. And they brawl. 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 And the ref just gets sick and tired of it. Goes back in the ring. Starts the count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gets to 19. I'm thinking, what the further? Like at 15, I'm like, okay, get back to the ring, boys. And they keep fighting farther and farther and farther and farther away until double count out. And then they keep fighting. And they keep fighting. And they keep fighting. And they get broken up. And then they fight again. They get broken up. And then they fight again. And it's just... And then there's a spot I have it written down. Kid says to Kaito, fuck you, and fuck Noah. And then that's what gets Naito all fucking pissed off. So Kiyomiya all pissed off, and he comes running back at him, attacking, and it's just like glorious chaos. Yeah,
it is glorious chaos.
So when I write how who's got what, is like I write win, a loss, or a draw, right? And I write how many numbers. I've added a new section of double count out.
Because they get no points for that, right?
No, they each got a point.
Oh, they do get a point.
It's just it results the same as a draw. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, this one, they just pretty much it dissolved quickly, but like that also insinuates there was some kind of structure at some point, which I don't think there was.
For about 4 minutes, there was.
I don't think that's long enough to say it was structured, though. It was just glorious chaos.
Yep.
Just so much fighting, but like Kaito has been kind of known for that now after his little, his little moment with Okada there. Gabe Kidd, I mean, Captain Sassy Pants. Well, I don't know what I was expecting with this, but I was certainly expecting more than what I got. I find myself a little disappointed that I didn't get more wrestling out of these guys. But at the same time, like, it kind of sets me up to want to see them again on a different stage, maybe, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I literally just thought of something. Anybody that's watching this video, if you're an artist, contact me, because I want to create the newest comic book cover of Captain Sassy Pants and Angry Alex.
Oh my god. Oh, that would be tremendous.
I want to make that. I got to find an artist to make that. I really do. So if you're an artist, get in touch with me. I would love to make that. I cannot. I can barely do this, let alone art. So.
Now, don't be so hard on yourself, sir.
We move on. It's Tangaloa versus the Great Khan. They're each trying to gain dominance early. Khan reverses the suplex and pulls a knee bar. He really got technical in this match.
Yeah.
Like he really worked. Like, again, he's a judo, wrestling, a lot. He's a bunch of different disciplines that he has learned over the years. So again, he has this great, like, I think he has Brazilian jiu-jitsu or a Japanese version of it anyways. He's the guy's got range. They end up on the floor. Khan puts a chair onto Tangaloa's knee and then smashes the chair with another chair. And then he gets a chair and puts it onto the knee, opens it up, puts it on the knee, and sits down on it. So Tangaloa is writhing in pain. And then Khan gets a modified knee bar in the ring. gets into the STF, but like starts Mongolian chops the neck there, and the fucking face on Tanga Loa. It will haunt my dreams forever because it looked like he finished. If you catch my drift, it looked like his O face.
Oh dear. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we went there.
Well, that was the face he made, and I was just like, okay, you got an interesting kink, dude.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Khan's really working over the knee in this match. Loa fights back with a series of strikes and the corner splash. Gets the German, but Khan right back up to get the grapple Fado Khan. And Loa right back up, but Khan gets the belly to belly. But Loa pops up again and he hits an exploder. But Khan pops up and then you start trading strikes. These two are just popping up and just killing each other. It was great. Judo throw by Khan. He gets a 1 count. Then Loa hits the spear. He gets a 1 count. Loa misses the enziguri. Khan gets the elbow drop to the knee. I love how he's trying to always go back to that knee. Loa fights off the claw. Gets strikes, enziguri, hits ape shit, and again, this is another match where it surprised the shit out of me. Tanga Loa got the win.
Yeah, this was another sudden awesome win for me. I really kind of felt that Okan kind of went back to like his original Okan roots. Remember when he was kind of doing the warlock thing and he was doing the hand thing and walking like a zombie and all that stuff. Like, yeah, like it was very, it felt very OG okay. You know what I mean? Like OG Okan. I really enjoyed it. You're absolutely right. It was very, very technical, especially from Okan. And it was nice to see that adaptability kind of coming back from him in this tournament because it's been something that I've been desperately missing over the last little year. It's kind of felt like he's been kind of plateauing despite being the champion of the British. You know, it felt very lackluster for a little while there. He was kind of being lost in the fray, if you will. Now this kind of feels like despite the losses that he's taking, he's making a bit of a comeback and I'm here for it. But I really, even though it was a sudden and surprising win for me, I'm very happy that Tanga Loa got this one.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed because I had Great Okan, so I didn't get points out of this. So, but yeah, it's nice to see Tanga Loa get a little more thunder, I guess here.
Yeah. Not like the thunder outside. My goodness.
And really, and like you think about Okan, he only dropped that Rev Pro title like 3 weeks ago. So again, like I guess that was kind of his downward spiral. I guess I don't know.
He's going into his midlife crisis.
I guess so. We move on to the Battle of the Big Men. Tsuji, it's Yota Tsuji versus Hikuleo, and Yota Tsuji is not a small man. He's a pretty tall man, but Hikuleo made him look short. Like crap. Like I always when I always hear them talk like he's 6'9", he's 6'10", I'm like, he's only like 6'6", probably in real life. Like because you know how they like people talk, you know, they exaggerate the height. Like Big Show is not actually 7 feet. He's like 6'10", 6 or so.
And I'm not just 5'3". I'm 5'3 3/4.
You're 5 foot nothing, and you know it.
I am 5'3 3/4. You will not take that 3/4 from me, but I typically leave it out.
I'm like 5'7.5", so I shouldn't talk. But goddamn, did he make Yota Tsuji look short? Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Hikuleo's shirt kind of gives me not black. It's from Black Panther, but Killmonger, the bad guy. Like it give me Killmonger suit vibes. The way with the gold and the way it like arcs in. That's the kind of vibes it gave me was Killmonger suit vibes. I was like, I like it. Tsuji tries a tornado DDT, but Hikuleo just tosses him off.
Yeah.
They're both just smacking the shit out of each other. Tsuji lariats Hikuleo over the top, but Hikuleo catches Tsuji on the suicide. Like he catches him, puts him on the ground, then lifts him up again. Or he turned him into the barricade or something like that. But it still, he stuffed the suicide dive. Is the main part of it.
Yes, he did.
But Tsuji managed to he gets him up on the shoulder, but Tsuji managed to slide off, send Hikuleo into the post. Tsuji then hits a Rana off the apron, and it looked like Hikuleo broke his neck. Like how hard he. And Chris is like, "Oh my god, he's hurt," because just how hard. Like I rewound it like 4 or 5 times, just to see what the fuck happened. And like he goes into the barricade, and the barricade just goes right here, and he goes, "Wah bam!" Like just full speed, and it looked brutal.
It looked rough.
Yeah, I'm glad he's okay. 100% glad he's okay. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some tape on his next show. Jesus, I wouldn't be surprised.
100%.
Tsuji casts Hikuleo with the legs coming in, like Hikuleo's running the corner. He grabs the leg, and then he just with the heavy legs and just smashes it down to the mat. I love that spot. Tsuji tries to stomp, but Hikuleo won't. Like he's trying it multiple times, and then the third time, he literally Randy Orton's it and just tosses him off. Not to the level of Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, but literally tosses him off and gets the shot, gets some shots in. Corner splash, the hot shot, or the snake eyes in the corner, and the lariat looks really good. Tsuji comes back and finally gets the suplex he's been trying all match onto Hikuleo. Hikuleo back up, hits a big boot, almost taking Tsuji's head off at one point. Looked pretty brutal. Tsuji hits a T trigger when Hikuleo tries to power slam, which looked like. Then he drops to do it. Like he drops down to do it, and Tsuji just cracks him with that knee. Oh,
yes.
Hits the Falcon Arrow, but only gets 2. Curb stomp by Tsuji, but Hikuleo gets back up, hits the big boot to stop the spear. Tsuji then flips out of the choke slam, but Hikuleo hits the snap power slam, picks him up. Hits the choke slam for the win. Again, I didn't expect this result.
I didn't either. I was actually really hoping for Tsuji on this one. Especially obviously because I picked him and because he's fucking hot. But just in Hikuleo has been doing so good and getting so much better. As a former NJPW strong champion right there. Tsuji can't say that. He doesn't have a championship in NJPW yet. So, but this isn't a jab at Hikuleo because he has gotten so much better. But in regards to quality of wrestling, I feel like Tsuji's a bit more above Hikuleo. And the unique style that Tsuji has is so exciting and so fresh and so new. I expected him to be doing a little bit better in this tournament, especially because of his glorious return facing Sonata, having 2 tremendous matches against the IWGP champion now. I definitely did expect Tsuji to pick up a win here. So I am disappointed. I am impressed though that I think Hikuleo tried to go for that choke slam about 3 or 4 times, and Tsuji had an answer for at least 3 of those before being met with the final one. Again, speaks to the impressiveness of the uniqueness of his wrestling ability. But overall, I thought that this match was actually tremendous for them both. It showed off both men's strengths, and I feel that both of them still come out of this match looking really strong.
Yeah. Very good. Again, Tsuji impresses me every single goddamn time he's in that ring. But you and Boris both bet on Young Lions, and they haven't really helped you.
Yeah, well, at least I didn't pick Yano.
Yeah, that's true. Which Boris picked 2, Umino, Narita, and Yano. That's not been the best run for him so far.
So I don't think we've seen him in the top 2 in a bit.
No. Not since day one. Kenta versus El Phantasmo. Officially, this match comes in at 19 seconds. This match was like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
But there was only 19 official seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Kenta taking forever to come in at the start of the match. When EMP slides out to come in to fight him, Kenta slides in, and vice versa. And this is where I kind of got mad at the ref. He's like, "You started matches on the floor. Why the fuck didn't you start this match on the floor?"
Yeah, and this was Marty Asadi too.
He has done it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn, Marty Asadi. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. You're better than this. You could have just started this match and you could have double counted out these guys. Come on, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Kenta goes over the barricade and is walking around, and ELP just hops up the corner, and dives out, landing on Kenta, and like starts beating the living shit out of him. So ELP moonsaults off the barricade to Kenta, and like he hits his head on the barricade on that moonsault. It looked like, ooh, hope he's okay. ELP tossing Kenta into one barricade and he just crumbles over. I was just like, yeah. They go up the stairs into the bleachers. ELP tries CR2, but Kenta backdrops him onto the bench and then hits the DDT onto the bench, and ELP's just like writhing in pain. Kenta shoves the ref away as he's trying to get them back to ringside, but ELP reverses a whip by Kenta and tosses him into the closed bleachers, but then gets pulled down when he tries to climb the entrance structure, and he gets DDT'd on the floor. Kenta goes to the back, and we're like, did he just forfeit? And then he comes back with a kendo stick, wailing on ELP with it, and he ends up running ELP into the post head first. ELP starts bleeding. I think ELP started bleeding at this point, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Or he actually a little bit before. I think it's when he.
I think a little bit before, yeah.
I think it's actually when he did the moonsault and hit his head.
Yeah.
ELP ends up taking the kendo stick and just unloads on Kenta. They're trading slaps. This is all still on the floor. And Kenta drops ELP with the shote strikes, those like palm strikes that he does.
Yeah.
But ELP hits a super kick. ELP puts Kenta on a table, gets on the table with them, but gets low blowed and then gets DDT'd onto the table. And this is where Kenta decides, I'm gonna start the match. Brings him back to the ring. ELP is like laying like on the mat, and Marty's just like, all right, start the match. And you're like, the fuck, Marty? Like,
poor form.
Yeah, so Kenta hits the running boot in the corner, then hits the head hesitation dropkick, the Chris Sabin special, who stole it from Kenta. ELP gets him up on Kenta gets ELP up on the shoulders, goes for GTS, but Kenta rolls him up and gets the win in officially 19 seconds. Kenta's pissed. He starts beating the shit out of ELP after the match. He has to be pulled out by Young Lions and shit. And ELP's just laughing the whole goddamn time. And he's got blood running down. He's just laughing. It was great.
It was. Even though it lost me points, I found it funny. And I'm like, couldn't it happen to a better guy in Kenta, I'm never going to win a G1 on Kenta, betting on Kenta. I need to stop torturing myself with this.
But the year you stop, Kenta wins it.
Yeah, that is exactly what's going to happen. F my life. You pretty much said it all. I mean, Kenta really beat the holy heckin' shit out of ELP for a while there. But I feel that ELP just outsmarted him at the end there. Caught him with something he wasn't expecting, and I loved it. The anger was so real. Hopefully we're setting up for something where they can have a little bit of a feudy.
I would enjoy that. I really would. ELP is a great professional wrestler, and I would love to see him mixed up with Kenta more.
Absolutely.
And again, you could do this on Strong because again, ELP is from Canada. His home base is over here.
Absolutely.
And Kenta's home base is in the United States, in California.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all the potential to do them on Strong. So again,
100%.
both guys have been associated with Strong in the past. So
100%. Yeah.
semi-main event of the evening, or the last match I watched overall. Sonata versus Ren Narita. Good, solid wrestling at the start from these guys. Narita getting the shoulder block, sending Sonata to the floor. Runs him into the barricade, but he goes to do it again. Then Sonata sends him into the barricade. But Narita just pops right back with a running boot. Narita really starts working over the legs of Sonata. Sonata gets a beautiful high angle backdrop suplex. That looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Sonata drop kicks the knee. Then he drop kicks Narita out, hits the plancha to the floor. A seated sleeper suplex in the ring, but they end up standing up. Narita tries a cobra twist, gets hip tossed off, but pulls the knee bar. But then he's got him kind of in peril, but then turns it in and decides to go for the Narita Special 3 or whatever the heck it is, Narita Special number 3. But Sonata spins through, gets him up on the ropes, and hits a magic screw. It's like, dude, just hold on to the gosh darn anybody. Because he was applying as Kevin said, he was applying the Sabre Junior method, 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So Sonata does this great like Michael style flip through the corner, flipping over the corner, like to roll. Like he went into the corner, did the flip over, and landed on the apron, and then hopped up into the springboard drop kick. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen him do that before.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, and then he hits a TKO for 2. Sonata misses the moonsault. Narita takes him down, gets to the Narita Special number 3, the sharpshooter Boston Crab was going for. But Sonata gets the rope. Narita starts heavy strikes. They're trading shots. Sonata gets the Shining Wizard, goes for deadfall, but Narita slips into the Cobra Twist. But as they get to the ropes, Narita hits a bridging German for 2. Narita hits the Northern Lights suplex. Sonata pulls him in and then Sonata, or as he goes for Northern Lights, he gets pulled in and get hit with a cutter. The knees get up for Narita when the moonsault, and Narita pulls like a German, but he rolls him through into the ground Cobra for 2. Skull end by Narita is skull end by Sonata, but Narita rolls through into the rear naked choke. They end up trading shots, trade enziguris, more strikes. Narita goes for the Narita Special, but Sonata hits deadfall. Boom, this guy's still undefeated. 10 points for Sonata.
Yeah.
He is guaranteed the quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that mean we're going to see Sonata start slacking a bit?
I don't.
I think not.
He doesn't want to have any. He doesn't want any challengers for King of Pro Wrestling.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This one was kind of. I felt like. I feel like the young boys, these Three Musketeers, minus Suji actually, so maybe more just Narita and Shota, have been very much so ignoring the true kind of, I would say, person to be going after in this company when you come back in Sonata, as both Narita and Shota have kind of set their sights on Okada, which is fair. I mean, he arguably is one of the best IWGP champions they've had, having one of the longest title reigns in the company, and arguably like becoming one of the most solid champions in that time period. But as much of a legacy as Okada has, he still is building that legacy. He's going to have that title again, and he's going to have a really long reign again. Will he outdo his own personal record? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens when we get there. That being said, though, the current champion is Sonata. And I feel like this was Sonata kind of doing the allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm the big champion, not Okada. And I felt like he was kind of a little playful in this one with Narita, as opposed to how he's kind of been in the matches prior going into this one.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really enjoyed this match. I thought that this was a great showing for Sonata, but also a really great showing for Narita against the champion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, really good match. I just thought really solid match. Narita looked really good, but Sonata goes undefeated so far.
Yes.
Back to talking about a man who's undefeated. It's Okada at 8-0. He can tie with Sonata and be guaranteed to the quarterfinals if he wins here against Will Ospreay. Slow match wrestling transitions by both. And like I said on the last show, they had a story to tell because again, Okada's gone undefeated. Can Will Ospreay beat him? Will this be a writhing into the head of Okada? And we got our answer here. We got our story told, and it's a really good story. Ospreay boots Okada to the floor, hits a plancha. Back in the ring, Okada hits the flapjack on the floor. Okada gets the DDT on the exposed floor, then on the mat. Back in the ring, Okada hits a DDT for 2. Okada like just a hard slap across the face. Okada slapped Ospreay hard across the face, like hard. Ospreay hits the handspring corkscrew kick, then a haluva kick in the corner, followed by the phenomenal forearm for 2. Ospreay reverses a suplex attempt into the Falcon Arrow for 2. Gets the Kawada kicks, but Okada reverses them and gets him up on his shoulder and gets the air raid crash neck breaker. Shotgun drop kick by Okada, forearm by Ospreay, forearm by Okada, hook kick, and he goes for that, and Ospreay goes for the Os cutter, but gets caught in a backslide by Okada, and Okada hits a short arm clothesline, but Ospreay goes for the Os cutter again, and Okada drop kicks him out of the Os cutter again. Okada's studying his tape, man. He knows this guy is very smart. He was one of the longest reigning champions for a reason, right? The Rainmaker gets reversed into a pop-up powerbomb, so Ospreay's doing his homework too. That looked really good. The Rainmaker reverses the powerbomb. That was great.
That one popped me.
Yeah, they out and up on top. Ospreay's trying to go for the I wrote Spanish fly instead of Spanish fly.
Spinach?
The Spanish.
Oh, yeah, but what did you write?
Spanish.
Oh.
Instead of Spanish, I wrote Spanish.
Interesting.
He goes for the Spanish fly, but gets knocked to the apron. But Ospreay super kicks Okada on the top, gets him, and RKO's him onto the apron. God damn.
Wasn't that an Os cutter? Os cutter.
Well, yeah, but the Os cutter to me is him flying through the air. This was more just a standard cutter, like RKO style or even diamond cutter, more or less. Again, Os cutter for me is more the springboard into the cutter. That's what I consider. But again, he called Os cutter, but it was a cutter to the apron. Springboard drop kick to a downed Okada by Ospreay, and Ospreay then hits the O-cutter, but only gets 2. Ospreay goes up, misses Sky Twister, and Okada applies the bunny clip.
And what a creepy angle. Like the camera shot of Ospreay Okada creeping up behind Ospreay to apply that money clip. That was that was the thing of my nightmares. That was the creepiest I think I've ever seen Okada look. It was perfection. It was creepy.
That picture right there of him is pretty goddamn creepy. So
yeah, it was the creep factor was turned up 10 from that too. He just looked like a man possessed coming up to slit Ospreay's throat.
Yeah. So Okada breaks the hold at one point, hits a lariat, goes to reapply it, but it gets broken up pretty quick. Ospreay goes to the top, but he gets drop kicked to the floor, but then he comes right back in and hits a Spanish fly. Ospreay misses the hidden blade, but then after reversing the landslide, he hits it, and it looked kind of brutal. He tries Stormbreaker, but Okada gets a roll up for 2. And so that backdrop into the pin that Okada's been really successful with lately.
Mm-hmm.
So Okada gets him up, hits landslide, calls for the Rainmaker, but Ospreay gets him in a ripcord, hits a ripcord hit and Blade, hits the Stormbreaker, and Ospreay pins Okada.
This was another mark out point for me in the night. I'm sure it was for you too. Look at you. Don't hit your microphone, sir.
So much, yes. Oh my God, I was so happy. I was praying
this was a
while
long
watching this
time
match.
coming.
I was praying because I made sure not to get spoiled by this. I just didn't want to know because I wanted to go into this watching it as fresh as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Like, I'm adding this to my list. I don't think it's like top 10 match of the year, but I'm going to put it on my list. I'm going to consider it. This match had me. Again, maybe other people don't put it as high. I love this match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was a great match. This was a hell of a way to close out the show, too. And the promo that Ospreay cut afterwards was just perfection.
It was simple and to the point. He didn't go on with his promo either. We
know some go-oners, don't we?
Tam Nakano.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, but again, it was simple to the point, gets his message across. Stung, I'm the best. Like, I just beat the best. I'm the best. Like, I am. You will call. It's like he is making such a goddamn, like, Kevin Kelly said it during his entrance. He said he put a clock on the end of the year to be considered the best wrestler in the world.
He's on his way.
I don't honestly see who else you can give that moniker to. Roman Reigns is absolutely phenomenal, but he's not, like, his character level is amazing, but Ospreay is just this amazing professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm very biased. He's been my GOAT for a couple of years now, but, like, he's making that case this year. Like, if he doesn't win the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame newsletter Wrestler of the Year this year, I'm going to be kind of mad. Because I just checked it. Meltzer gave this match 4 3/4 stars. Right where I put this, I would put this match right around that point.
Okay.
Like, this was real to me. It's that level of match. Maybe not to other people, but to me it is because. Yeah, I thought these two just absolutely killed it. And again, Ospreay hasn't been able to, Kevin Kelly said it, Ospreay hasn't been able to beat Okada in under 20 minutes. So it's him proving that he can. It's the same thing for Jeff Cobb. He hasn't been able to beat Sabre, but it took him more than 15 minutes to beat him. So does he have the ability to beat Sabre in under 15 to get that title? It's that story being told, and I love it.
There you go. Japanese wrestling storytelling being translated for us without needing translation.
Very much so. Very, very much so. So we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the blocks, quickly go over the point totals, and I'll highlight that up for you again. So on top, you have Sonata undefeated 10 points. Then you have Kaito Kiyomiya and Shota Umino each with 6 points. Like, okay, I guess Umino's getting Boris points, but not so much Rin Narita. I'll tell you that right now. Gabe Kidd with 5, and Kaito Kiyomiya and Gabe Kidd both have. Gabe Kidd has 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 double countout. That's what I'm calling it. It's not a draw because Kaito Kiyomiya has 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 1 double countout. And then you have, with 4 points, still technically in the game for second place, Chase Owens and Hikuleo with 4. Yota Tsuchi was 3. While not technically mathematically eliminated, I don't see this guy making the second place position. Sorry to say. I'm sorry. I think he can probably pick up 2 more wins, but yeah, it's not.
Yeah, the Umino thing is a little infuriating, but yeah.
Yeah. And then in last place is Ren Narita with 0 wins, 3 losses, and 2 draws. This man still hasn't won a match.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Like Narita's awesome, and I'm feel a little bad about that.
And isn't he the only one to come back to actually say that he had his championship?
Yeah.
Of the 3 of them, yeah, because Suji wasn't able to defeat Sonata, and I don't think Umino has challenged for a singles title, has he?
And
Or am I
one
just
thing,
forgetting?
Suji challenged for the heavyweight title but lost. Umino challenged for the U.S. title on his first match back, or twice, and has lost both times.
Right, right. And then Narita is a former never
Never.
open weight 6-man champion.
But
So
even
I
Kevin,
almost like sort of expect him to be doing a lot better.
yeah, me too. I would really think so. When we jump over to the B block, you have Will Ospreay on top. Technically on top. He is tied with Okada, but because he has the win over him, he is in first goddamn place, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's a real good chance Okada doesn't even make the goddamn finals. Oh, that would make me so happy. Oh, and
Oh, Andre.
Taichi in third with 6 points. YOSHI-HASHI, Kenta, and Tangaloa all with 4 points. While not technically mathematically eliminated, I doubt it. I think it's down to Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, and Taichi. That is who this block is down to, in my personal opinion. Kenta could make a run, but the top he can get is 8, and he would have to beat Okada. And I don't see Kenta beating Okada. I'm sorry, Mel. I'm sorry, Mel Ball.
I mean, I'm not delusional. I don't see Kenta beating Okada either.
Yeah. And with 2 points, you have El Phantasmo and the Great Okan. So with 2 points each.
Mm-hmm. One day, Kenta. One day.
Wait. No, sorry. El Phantasmo has 4 points. I didn't update that properly. Sorry. I didn't change that. So El Phantasmo has 4 points. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. And Great Okan alone in last place with 2 points.
Which is surprising. Very surprising.
Very. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out with us, letting us talk some New Japan into your ears. You can find us with all the great stuff we do on our channel at Andre Melville Wrestling Talk. If you might be watching us over on Backbreaker Video, check us out there. I want to thank all of you guys for all the great support, all the likes, the subscribes, the comments, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello. But you can find me, and I've done it up a little differently this time.
Oh.
You can find me on Twitter, Mastodon, TikTok, Blue Sky. Thank you, Astrid.
Oh.
And Hive at That Canada Guy. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook at our Facebook page, Andre Melville Wrestling Talk. And you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Andre and Melville Wrestling Talk. You can also find me, as I messed up on the last video, at twitch.tv/our local establishment, talking Marvel Talk on the YouTube page. You can check out our replays of that. You can find me this coming Friday. Actually, we're recording Friday. It's coming out Saturday with my boy, my other tag team partner, my other one. You know, you're my main one. He's my other one when you're not available. Oled. We're going to be talking SummerSlam. We're going to be previewing that Saturday on the OLE Twitch. I think it's going to be broadcasting on, and on the YouTube. So please check that out. We're going to be breaking it down. I've been following WWE through podcasts mostly, so I'm going to enjoy talking about this. We're going to break some stuff down, really get into it, talk about my disappointment with the Bloodline. Yeah, we're going to get into it. And then also, I forgot to do this on the last goddamn show, and I just realized my boy Mike the Ref, Backbreaker Video, youtube.com/@Backbreaker Video. Please check out all the great wrestling content. You might be watching us there. And if you are, please check out Mike's great content at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref, where he live does his Wednesday watch along for Dynamite. He does his all his gaming content over there. If you want replays of his gaming content, you can check out youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming. You've got him. You've got PJC, who has just returned to streaming again. You have Rick Jules, and you have the wonderful Kayla J guesting on the videos over there. So please check that out. Malball, where can they find you, madame?
First of all, Kayla J. I love Kayla J. She's amazing. Go check her out. If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on Twitter at Collins Melball. You can follow her on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can find me on our local establishment with all that spooky-ooky-ish with Carl Carufel, the gold standard there, Alex the Werewolf, talking some spooky-ooky-ish. We just released a video about missing people. We're probably going to be talking about aliens soon because, you know, everyone's all freaked out about that.
They're real.
Not. Aliens are real. Aliens are real. My goodness. Because the government said so. Yay. Yay us. You can also find me on Astrid Pizarro's YouTube channel with our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We have been on a bit of a hiatus since Astrid has been getting so many opportunities, and she's just been busy. But we'll hopefully be back soon there to talk some Stardom stuff and a couple other topics that have been popping up about women's wrestling that, yeah, they shouldn't be popping up about women's wrestling, but here we are. If you're wanting to watch NJPW, we will leave a link in the description box down below. It is NJPW-World.com. It is approximately 990 yen, or approximately $10 Canadian, or like 7 something. It kind of goes down depending on our dollar. Might be cheaper for you, it might be more, and I apologize, but it is such a small fee to pay for some incredible wrestling. I was going to say wrestling. What was that?
Messling, you know.
Wrestling, Japanese wrestling. And yeah, Andre, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
Just thank you all so much for all the great support, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get notified whenever we drop new shows.
Ding dong.
Hello.
And that being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.